is your home. So thank
well, it's a real honor for me to be here with my chairman, Senator Tom Carper of Delaware, and also to be with my fellow senator from West Virginia, Senator Joe Manchin. I think the fact that Senator Manchin joined us as a partner here today shows not just how well Senator Manchin and I work together as representing West Virginia in terms of that, but how our two committees, Senator Manchin is the chairman of the Energy and Natural Resources Committee. Senator Carper and I are over on EPW, and there's a lot of crossover between different areas and different areas of interest. So I thank him for coming today. So welcome home to Senator Carper. I think that you can tell that the good, solid upbringing that Raleigh County brought to Senator Carper still holds dear in his heart, and also the values that he embraces. I think probably his entire life were rooted here among the great folks of West Virginia. So we're very proud of that. And we do know that Carper is a good West Virginia name as well. So I'm sure he has more relatives around here than he really knows about. I also want to thank Judge Polling for arranging for us to use his courtroom today, and all the people that work for him. I want to thank the sheriff and the deputies for providing the securities that we need and that we've asked for. So I appreciate that. I want to thank my staff and also Senator Carper's staff for moving this. And I want to thank the press for coming and covering this. I think it's important for our state, and we have some good witnesses here today. I'm not going to go back through a lot of what Senator Carper said about the specifics of the bill that we passed, but I do have an opening statement, and I want to also, again, talk about where my area of interest has been is when you're looking at small and disadvantaged and rural communities, when you're trying to look at funding mechanisms and ways to deliver something that we all take for granted in some sources, but some people wake up in the morning and can't, and that's safe and clean drinking water. So we did pass that legislation. We voted it off the floor 89-2. He remarked that it's rare that we send anything out 89-2, and that is very, very very true. One of the questions I get all the time is, do you all ever do anything together? And the sad note about that is we do a lot together, but it doesn't get the kind of I guess publicity or good feel. We don't get it. We don't talk enough about the things that we do. We talk too much about the things that we don't agree on and more about the things that we do agree on. And in this area where we're looking at water infrastructure or roads and bridges and broadband, we have great consensus. So we're waiting with bated breath, the three of us, for the House to pass the bipartisan infrastructure package, of which this water bill is fully a part of this, but also a lot of other really good things that will be great, not just for West Virginia, but for Delaware. And I would say that I think one of the reasons that Senator Carper and I get along as well as we do, and I think a lot of it is because of his efforts to include me in all the decision making, and our staffs work very well together, is the fact that we're from small states. And he knows that we know each other, and he knows that we have in the course of our businesses or doing our business, we run into each other in all kinds of different ways, and sometimes that's in personal ways. I would make note that I am the only person on the dais here that has not been the governor of a state, so bear with me here. These governors can be pretty tough guys, I can tell you that. They're used to getting things done, that's for sure. So there are many critical water infrastructure needs that the Environment and Public Works Committee have heard about, and we need to address these right now. I look forward to hearing the perspectives from our witnesses, and I thank them for coming. I know that we had originally had another date planned, and they reworked into their schedules for them to attend with us today. But everyday Americans rely on the infrastructure that supports our wastewater systems. There are systems that this nation prides itself on, and when I was reading Mr. Morgan's statements, I was actually educated to the fact that many of these systems were built in the 70s to last for 50 years. Well, we're right there. And I think of some of these systems were built probably in the 10s and 20s. And so we're edging on to 80, 90, 100 years. We are facing critical challenges in the resiliency of these systems, with many small and rural counties being disproportionately affected by the wide array of water infrastructure challenges. Small and rural communities are particularly strained and need additional support to ensure protection and availability of this research. As I said, many of our systems are very old, and some of our systems don't even know where their piping is. We did address that in our water bill. Because the mapping records really were created post the delivery of the infrastructure systems. So these are not unique to West Virginia or Delaware. They're all over the country. So I'm committed to addressing these challenges by facing our infrastructure problems in the water area expeditiously and bipartisan with a holistic approach. We need a reliable, modern water infrastructure. It's a fundamental responsibility of our government. And that's why the Drinking Water and Wastewater Infrastructure Package that I'll call it DWIA for short, provides some of this. It ranges solutions to ensuring that systems have pipes that don't leak. There have been article after article in West Virginia about the loss of water in our pipes. When we look at, losing 50% of the water after it's been treated going out to different homes and businesses. And then you look at our friends in California who have huge water shortages. We can't, water is that precious resource that we need to really make sure that we take care of. But we also ensure that there's sustainable water workforce in place, and I'm sure we'll address this, to maintain and operate these systems, and to ensure that there's tailored funding for the resilience and sustainability for small and rural systems. So we provided a robust bipartisan solution in DWIA, and will hopefully, as it's included in the larger bipartisan infrastructure package entirely and verbatim, they didn't change anything, which is rare. We are hopeful that our colleagues will all address this in the House, and we can get it to the president's desk. So again, I'm very pleased that you are here, honored that you are here, and happy that you've had a great experience as we move into, as you've had your visit and your coming home visit, your homecoming. So do you want me to introduce the witnesses and then we'll go on? Please. I will. Our first witness, starting left to right, is Todd Grinstead. Todd is the executive director of the West Virginia Rural Water Association. He has a career, 40 years in the public water and wastewater industry. He served on the board of the West Virginia Rural Water Association in various positions. Welcome, Todd. We're happy to have you here. Our second witness is Wayne Morgan. Wayne graduated from West Virginia University. He has a bachelor's in civil engineering and a master's in business administration. He was at American Water Systems for 25 years. I guess 11 of those in West Virginia. Is that correct? Because you said it says 14 in New Jersey, and he was in charge of my water and Joe's water. So we're grateful to you, Wayne, for that. He has a certified drinking water operator's license, and welcome to you. And I'm glad that you're here today. He is the executive director of the West Virginia Infrastructure and Jobs Development Council. Final witness today is Jason Roberts. He's the executive director of the Region 1 Planning and Development Council. Jason graduated from Concord and has a degree in geography. Gosh, I don't even know if I've met somebody who has a degree in geography.
Not just one, two.
Two, yeah. And he's got a master's in geography. Now, I know I've never met somebody who has a master's in geography.
We call it doubling down.
Doubling down. Jason and I have worked a lot on the broadband issue with my office. He's been a real innovator, I think, in his area to try to recreate jobs and economic development systems in southern West Virginia, which has had particular challenges over the last several years. So welcome, Jason. I'm glad that you all are here, and I'll turn it back to the chair.